You know, I wonder if we neutered Riddle, do you think he would calm down? You know how like when you remove a dog's balls, like they calm down? Never know. Ooh, this is what I'm talking about. See, if everyone goes against him, he has no power. Oh, Finally! This kid's needed a fucking beating since he was young. I mean, to be fair, he probably was beat by his mom, but like, goddamn. Oh, your mother's been wrong since day one. To be honest, your mother was wrong for not aborting you. But since you're already here, we're gonna try to correct the mistakes and train you, okay? What if we build into him actually killing someone, though? Like, he goes full Queen of Hearts. Granted, he's already kind of been in his Hot Topic phase this whole show, so I don't know how much more edgy it can get. I'm blaming the mom first and foremost, but I'm kind of blaming Trey for, not doing shit. He really fucked shit up. If this man is allowed to stay house warden after legitimately trying to kill fellow students, the only way this makes sense to me in like a political sense is if this school is run similar to the American administration. Because then at that point, all these crimes just being forgotten would make sense to me. But maybe that's what it's inspired by, you know? Bruh, maybe this kid should have just been allowed to have a tart once a week by his fucking mom, and this never would have happened. He's in his Black Veiled Brides era. There's no helping him here. Oh boy, it's so over, Riddle fans. If you guys found the video, make sure you drop a like, share, support, subscribe if you're new around here. And Patreon is where I catch my full live reactions and thoughts to all these episodes and more, which also helps fund the channel and videos just like these. So, I was 50-50 when we started this episode if the fight was really over. Yeah, it was a 5-second fight. The thing is of all the things that could have happened, Riddle being punched in the face, highly likely. Him going on a rampage, highly likely. Him entering his #1 emo era, I thought maybe he was getting into some black suit symbiote Spider-Man nonsense. But he went full Black Veil Brides. We have reached uncharted territory for this edgy little emo kid. And the results are going to be catastrophic for the characters, but top tier entertainment for us as the viewers. I do want to give like major props to the visual directing. So it's a mixture of 2D and 3D, and the overall art style they went for is almost like this patchwork design. And I've seen it in stuff like Toilet Bound Hanako-kun and even Madoka Magica, or maybe not Madoka, maybe it was Magia Record, which is still set same universe. It is cool, like his whole emo outburst of just corruption. The style is so engaging. And I think what I like about this episode is it definitely subverted expectations they had me lay out, especially for a character like Trey. They really made Trey look like he was going to be useless this episode, which initially disappointed me because I was like, man, I was really excited because it kind of felt like we were building up Trey realizing maybe I should have punched my friend earlier or, you know, just smack some sense into him. And they kind of like pushed him away only for him to, you know, actually stand up for a bit. So it was kind of refreshing. And I wasn't sure exactly where we were going to go, but this wasn't it. So we're going to have one hell of an action sequence next week, which will be fantastic. But at the end of the day, most likely this ends with Riddle still remaining house warden, but probably less of an edgy loser and probably more emotionally stable. The issue will be is that we have to clearly beat the living shit out of him in order to realize that, oh wait, mother actually sucked ass. Because that's the whole thing, right? This man has such mother issues that as he is, he would never hold a relationship with anyone. I assume is straight, just based on sources saying there isn't really any gay pairings in the game. So if we assume he's straight, he ain't holding a relationship down with a woman. And even if he was gay, like, do you think his version of authority would allow him to hold down a guy either? No, he's basically fucked is what I'm saying. And this woman is horrible. You know, I'm not saying it has to be a guy, but maybe we find one of the other characters' mothers and we take May I Ask for One Final Thing with its MC Scarlet. We give the old brass knuckles to maybe one of the characters' mothers, and boom! Because this bitch sucks. And if she's already dead, maybe we dig up her I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm a little too edgy right now, I am. What I really like, though, is when all the students stood up to him. Because the thing about a bully, right, is like, it's not that it always happens like this, But more often than not, a bully only has power when they feel like you're scared of them. Now, not always. There are some cases you stand up to a bully, they'll punch you right back. And you better hope you're actually stronger than them. But a lot of cases, a character like Riddle, yeah. So seeing someone sucker punch Riddle, because everyone's probably wanted to punch this little bitch for so long, they start throwing eggs, and the issue is I was like, no, let's all jump his ass. Let's beat the living shit out of him so he has a wake-up call. Which honestly probably would have worked. Unfortunately, because it calms down for a bit, everyone kind of loses their nerves, because that's kind of what happens, right? It's like kind of like a government protest, right? Like by yourself, you're like, well, I'm not going to start one. I'm just going to get arrested or whatever. But if everyone's doing it, you kind of feel like, yeah, we can do this together. And that's kind of what it felt like here. And I think what's so interesting about the crash out of Riddle here is that, like, you see the cracks form all throughout the season, but it's like watching the little droplets into the little heart amulet on his wand or whatever. They finally give us an explanation of what it is, and it seems like it's almost like a way to purify that, like, hey, like when shit goes a little too crazy, yeah, it's like it tries to get rid of that, you know, so you're not bloating too much, and, you know, unfortunately, all the crash out emotions this kid went through, it overfilled so much that the Black Veil Brides era kicked off, and honestly, insanity. I just love this transition, though, like, look at this, it's so cute. It is cute, though, to see this, like, it's sad, man, like, these, like, overly health-conscious parents, like, oh, you can't have a single bit of sugar, like, she made this kid live in a bubble, like, it's just, it's so sad. And, you know, what did we say last week? Trauma explains, trauma doesn't excuse. And I used a couple of examples last week. One of the ones I used was like, hey, if you were beat as a child, you might beat your own kids. Not saying it's right, but you can see why the passing down, like, it happens. And it's, you know, you got to break generational trauma. Riddle has the chance to break generational trauma. I'm sure this man's mother, his grandma was shit too. And if not, if grandma was a loving person, the mom just deserves to be excommunicated, okay? Like, seriously. I don't think Riddle is beyond redemption, though. He hasn't reached a point of critical mass. The thing that's funny, though, he did try to kill. So he's closer to maybe a point of no return for these people. It really depends. Because he literally was like, I'm going to rip you limb from limb. So every time he goes off with their heads, it's a fucking amulet thing around their neck. It's a collar. They can't use magic. They're not dying, right? He whipped dozens of trees with the intent of severing people. This is the first time I'm like, well, it didn't happen, but he did do attempted murder. It really does count as attempted murder. It will all depend on how the class responds. I assume the class gives him a second chance. If I'm a part of this whole situation, I'm probably like, I'm switching schools. The Hades class seems a little less psycho, but we'll see what happens. Trauma explains, trauma doesn't excuse, and it's up for the individual people who have dealt with the abuse of the person to decide if they want to forgive or to try to say, I won't forgive, but I'll give you another chance. Myself, don't know if I'd give this kid a second chance. Then again, I don't know. I kind of dig his Black Veil Brides era, I gotta be real. So maybe I would, just for the entertainment of it. Great episode, though. Very enjoyable. I think a lot of the show is silly, but it's silly in a fun way that's kind of cheesy that I enjoy. And the more serious stuff that they take actually serious, like with the trauma, I think they're doing a really good job. And honestly, seeing my boy sucker punch him, oh, that shit was satisfying. You let me know your thoughts down below. What did you think of the second to last episode of Season 1 of Twisted Wonderland? How many times did you want to punch Riddle this episode? Let me know. Drop a like, share, support, subscribe if you're new around. Of course, Patreon for live reactions and exclusives. Like, I also like to give video shout outs to my patrons because they make videos like these possible. All right, so today we got JMZ, Jamonteco, XY1000CH, Chris, Cody Tiffany, N-Duck, and we also have Catherine Holverson. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You all have a good one.